Right now, we're going to check in with Mike McGarry from the Press of Atlantic City, get his thoughts on the high school basketball season. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, Sully, how are you?
What's happening, man? We got you? Oh, he dropped him. Are you there, Mike?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. All right, we got you.
Okay. All right.
What are you calling, from the woods or something? What's going on?
No, I'm right here. I'm right here. I don't know what happened there a little bit. I heard a little bit of the ties that bind, and then you faded out a little bit there. So
you enjoying this 10-degree weather?
It's cold winter, Sully. It's okay. We can handle it for a few days. I'm not really a fond of the cold weather, but a few days, a few frigid days in January will make us appreciate it when it warms up. I think it's supposed to go up to the 50s or something. So people will be running around in shorts and t-shirts tomorrow and Monday. So I
think Tiger Minetti was in shorts all week.
Well, there's nothing strange about that whatsoever. So there you go. Year-round.
He's a year-round shorts guy.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm not one of those guys. There are several of them out there. I'm not one.
So, Mike, we were just talking to Coach Jones from Millville. They're one of the hotter teams in the Cal. They've won 5 in a row. They're really giving St. Augustine a run for the money in the Cal American, so they're looking pretty good for the Cal tournament. We're starting to see a little bit of separation, at least in the Cal American, but that Cal National, man, that's really jumbled up. Lower Cape May got hot again a little bit the last week or so. It's going to be kind of a game of musical chairs in that division. There's probably only 3 going to get in there, and you have 4 teams vying for those 3 spots. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, you have Ocean City, Mainland Regional, Lower Cape May, and Holy Spirit, 4 teams for 3 spots in the Cape Atlantic League tournament. And right now, Mainland Regional continues to be one of the biggest surprises of the season. Another win last night. They kind of lead that division, and right now they kind of control their own destiny when it comes to that division. But, there's big games to come up. I think Lower Cape May plays Holy Spirit again. Lower Cape May's got Ocean City again. Lower Cape May probably's got Mainland again. So there's a lot of big games left to be played in that division over the next 2 weeks. And like you said, everybody's right there, and it's 4 teams for 3 spots in that division. I mean, the Cape Atlantic League Boys Tournament looks pretty well defined. There are 9 teams right now going for the 8 spots that we had in the paper today and online yesterday. I posted, kind of my seeding. I think I had St. Augustine, Wildwood Catholic 1, St. Augustine 2, Pleasantville 3, Millville 4, Mainland 5, St. Joe 6, and Ocean City 7, and Lower Cape May 8 right now, with Holy Spirit, kind of lurking at that 9th spot.
Yeah, I could see even the 5 through 8 seeds really. There could be a big change in that, depending on what happens the next 2 weeks. Obviously, St. Joe's has been playing pretty well, and Mainland. I don't know how you compare those two, St. Joe and Mainland. Obviously, if Mainland wins that division, they should get a top 5 seed, I would think, right?
Yeah, I mean, I gave Mainland when I did the seedings out yesterday and looked at it. I gave Mainland the number 5 spot over the strength of right now they're in first place in that division. These seeds, when I do it every Friday, I post online on Friday, in the paper on Saturday. It's kind of a snapshot of where we are in time right now. So assuming that, let's say, the season ended right now, this is where we are. Obviously, with 2 weeks to go, a lot can change, especially in that national division. But I gave Mainland the number 5 seed, put Millville ahead of them because Millville beat Mainland opening night, which the way Mainland has played, that's a quality win for Millville. Millville also has a win over St. Joe. St. Joe right now is in 3rd place in that United Division, although it's an outstanding deep division with Wildwood Catholic, Pleasantville, Middle Township in there. I still gave the division winner a nod ahead of St. Joe, but that can change. St. Joe has some big games coming up. They go down to Wildwood Catholic. They host Pleasantville. A win in any one of those 2 games can sort of, shoot them right up the ladder. So plenty of potential for change. And Millville plays at St. Augustine again. So, you don't know what's going to happen there. So there are some big games coming up over the next 2 weeks before this tournament starts on February 15th that can, impact the seeding.
Mike, one of the teams that really intrigues me is Ocean City. I mean, it seems like every time they get punched in the mouth, they come right back and win a couple in a row. They lost that tough game to Mainland, but have won 2 straight. They're 13-3 overall. They got a bunch of seniors, guys that have multiple years of varsity experience, so they're not going to be intimidated by this Cal tournament. That could be one of those lower-seeded teams that really makes an impact in this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. And I thought, the game, I covered the game where they played at Mainland, I believe it was a week ago yesterday. They kind of got hit with a snowball that sort of started rolling downhill in that game. Mainland Regional really took control in the third quarter with a timely run. And when a team goes on a run in that third quarter, it's tough to come back from that. But you're exactly right. Ocean City able to bounce back. They got a win over Holy Spirit this week, which was a big win for them. They are a senior team that's kind of been through the tournament before. I think they were in the Cape Atlantic League tournament last year. They lost to Atlantic City in the first round. Then they went to the South Jersey Group 3 tournament. I believe they went to the South Jersey Group 3 semifinals before they lost at Seneca. So guys like Donovan Graham, Joey Sacco, Luke Varallo, they know what it takes to win tournament games. They've been there. They've been experienced before, and that kind of experience can pay off for you, especially when you have to overcome some adversity, which they did. Lose the game at Mainland, but they come back, get a win over, I believe they beat Wildwood earlier in the week. Then they beat Holy Spirit, so they kind of get themselves right back on track.
Another team in a similar situation, Lower Cape May, they've won 4 in a row, even after their best player transferred over to Wildwood Catholic. So real nice job by Lower Cape May in hanging around, and they're only a half game behind Mainland for first place. If they can grab that number 1 seed in the national, that really kind of jumbles things up in the seedings for sure.
Yeah, and a great job by them withstanding that, because Martin Angulov leaves Lower Cape May to transfer to Wildwood Catholic, and Lower Cape May continues to win, continues to get some outstanding efforts from some guys on that team. They're playing well, and all the credit in the world to Scott Holden and the Caper Tigers. They could have easily have fallen apart after that transfer, or things could have gone in a different direction for them. Instead, they've held it together. They won 3 or 4 in a row, and right now we have them at the number 8 seed, and again with potential to move up because they've got some big national conference games still left to play.
Mike, what about a team like Vineland? Is it too little, too late for them? I mean, they've won 3 in a row. They're 9-5 now, but only 4-3 in the Cal American. Are they going to be kind of on the outside looking in, you think?
Yeah, I think at this point, although DJ Campbell is having a wonderful season, he had another big game last night as they beat Deptford in a non-conference game. I think you got to sort of, with a notable win, they could put themselves right in contention there. I think they've got St. Augustine left on the schedule. They've got Atlantic City left on the schedule. What kind of hurt them a little bit is I believe they were kind of right there with Egg Harbor Township in that 3rd spot at the CAL American, and teams from the national. I think Pleasantville has beaten EHT, Mainland's beaten EHT, Lower Cape May beat EHT, so I think that hurts the American as far as getting a 3rd team. But I think what Vineland needs is kind of that real big signature win. And then you got an opportunity to maybe look at them. But they are a team that's getting hot, and if they don't make the CAL tournament, they're a team that you want to look at in what is a pretty wide open Group 4 field, because if DJ Campbell gets hot, Vineland can play with anybody.
Talk with Mike McGarry from the Press of Atlantic City, and Mike taking a quick look at the girls' standings, and obviously Mainland will probably be the number 1 seed. They're 16-2 overall, won 8 in a row. But there's some really quality teams starting to emerge. I mean, you look at Middle Township; they've won 10 in a row. They've gone from 4-4 to 14-4. Have been playing some great basketball. Wildwood Catholic's definitely a team to watch. Ocean City's, they're right in there at 12-4. And those 2 teams in the American, when you talk about Atlantic City and ACIT, 24 wins combined between those teams. So this is going to be anything but a walk in the park for Mainland.
Yeah, absolutely. But Mainland, I think, has kind of established themselves as the number 1 seed with the 2 wins over Ocean City. They beat Ocean City last Sunday night at Ocean City. Like you said, they won. They're 16-2 overall. I think Mainland is the team is the number 1 seed. I think we're pretty comfortable with Ocean City as the number 2 seed right now. Then I think I had Atlantic City at number 3. Atlantic City, close losses to Ocean City, lost to Mainland, split with ACIT, but I think they're still leading that American, in first place in that American division right now, so put them at number 3. They've also got a close win over Middle Township, so I put Middle at number 4, and then ACIT at number 5 right there. And kind of a difference there is, Middle beat Wildwood last night while Wildwood beat ACIT last Saturday. So I think that's how you can sort of separate those teams right there. So it is, and then Wildwood Catholic at number 6. So I think you look at it, and those 6 teams are pretty solid right there. And then you look at Oakcrest team that's having an outstanding season, though they stubbed their toe last night against Lower Cape May. I think Oakcrest has an inside track towards a spot. And then I think that number 8 spot, I think you've got a couple teams. I think you've got Vineland. I think you've got EHT. I think you've got Ulmer still hanging around for that number 8 spot. And I think it's a matter of which team sort of grabs it over the next 2 weeks and kind of gets hot and has some big wins that can grab that number 8 spot.
Mike, I'd be really keeping my eye on Wildwood Catholic. I mean, I saw them play over the weekend at the 97-3 shootout, and they look pretty good. I mean, they got some talented players, some tall girls that can really make things happen on the inside. So they're going to be a tough matchup for anybody in that first round.
Yeah, they've got 2 of the league's best players. One, Gabby Turco, might be one of the more underrated players in South Jersey. She's just had an outstanding season. And then, of course, the sophomore, Marie Papa, I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name, but she's an outstanding all-around player. So with those 2 players, they've got 2 of the most talented players in the Cape Atlantic League. They've got 2 sort of close losses to Middle Township on the resume. And right now I kind of have them as a number 6 seed. So, playing, if it works out the way I projected, playing against Atlantic City in the first round, that would be an outstanding, first-round tournament game.
Mike, real quick before we let you go, what are some of the matchups to watch at the Battle by the Bay? Obviously, it's a little bit different tournament. They got some out-of-state teams, some pretty good matchups of some highly ranked state teams. So not your typical tournament with a lot of South Jersey flavor, but there's definitely going to be some good basketball going on this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you've got a couple of intriguing games over there today. A lot of local teams involved: Atlantic City Girls versus Southern Girls, Ocean City Girls versus Camden Catholic, Wildwood Catholic, which is, with what has happened to Camden this week, kind of falling on hard times. Camden losing to Camden Catholic yesterday by, I believe, 20-something points. Wildwood Catholic is going to be that number 1 team in South Jersey, so the Wildwood Catholic boys are going to take that mantle over. As long as they take care of business this weekend. They play Patterson Kennedy today at the Battle by the Bay. They play Bordentown in Holy Cross at Holy Cross tomorrow. They take care of business these 2 games. They'll be the new number 1 team in South Jersey. Then you got some intriguing games. Elizabeth, undefeated at 19-0. They'll play Cherokee. Cherokee is the South Jersey Group 4 favorite. Last Saturday, they had up Wildwood Catholic by 15 at the start of the fourth quarter before Wildwood Catholic comes back and wins that game in overtime. So Elizabeth, Cherokee's a game to watch today. And then Seton Hall Prep versus Lawrenceville Prep, another game to watch today. Lawrenceville Prep has Josh Hemmings, a 6'8" forward with scholarship offers from USC, UCLA, Oregon, among other schools. And then, of course, tomorrow, 1:30, the Super Bowl. Before the Super Bowl, Pleasantville going into Atlantic City looking for their first win since 2008 over the Vikings. But they'll be facing an improving Atlantic City team that, hung around and threw a little scare into St. Augustine last night. So, I'm really interested to see how that game unfolds tomorrow. Pleasantville and Atlantic City, 1:30 at the Battle by the Bay in Atlantic City.
Yeah, the Greyhounds are chomping at the bit. They feel like this is the year. They got the team that can finally knock off Atlantic City. It's been, like you said, almost a decade. So I'm sure those boys at Pleasantville are they're not going to get much sleep tonight. They're going to be ready to go at it at 1:30 tomorrow.
Right, absolutely. And on the flip side, you have an Atlantic City team that's probably been hearing around the city that they've got no shot against Pleasantville this year. That Pleasantville is going to come in and win the game, so you'll have an Atlantic City team that has improved remarkably since the start of the season. I can't say enough about how much the Vikings have improved. They're playing some solid basketball. They're young. They still make some young mistakes, some ill-timed turnovers. some ill-timed shots, kind of hurt them last night in the fourth quarter against St. Augustine. But where Atlantic City was 2 weeks ago to where they are now is remarkable. But still, they're facing a Pleasantville team with Samir Jones, Jalen Freeman, Jacob Vallis, all 1,000-point scorers, a Pleasantville team that is motivated to win this game for the first time since 2008. So it should be an excellent one. 1:30 tip-off tomorrow, Battle by the Bay at the refurbished Atlantic City High School gym.
I wonder if the Greyhounds are going to break out the all-black uniforms.
They do have the best uniforms in South Jersey. There's no doubt about it. The colors, the black, the maroon, just the nickname, the Ville, tremendous uniforms. They're right there. I'm usually not a uniform guy, but Pleasantville has got some outstanding uniforms.
Good stuff as always, Mike. We appreciate it, man. We'll see you over there tomorrow, and we'll catch up next week as we get closer to this Cal tournament.
All right, Sully, always a pleasure. Thanks for a few.
You got it, man. Thanks, Mike.